as the founder of a company, or as an entrepreneur, has the work that you've been putting in over the past 6 months either increased the revenue compared to the last 6 months without additional work, or decreased the amount of time that you need to put in for the same revenue? If the answer to that question is no, the work you're probably doing isn't scaling a business. This is a fundamental difference between a high-paying job and a business, right? And your role in it as a founder. Now, at the start of any business, you're throwing shit at the wall. The founder's having to do absolutely everything because you don't have fixed systems and processes yet that you know work. But once you do have those, that's where your effort should be going. And, this is only relevant, really, if your product is good enough that people want to spend the right amount of money with you that you need to be able to make it profitable. So, for me, over the last, 6 to 8 weeks or so, the biggest focus has been drastically decreasing the amount of time that we need to put in for the same outcome. And so that's looking like a lot of automation and stuff like that, because we have consistent people coming in, the systems are working, we have staff fulfilling, we have staff selling, and now we are replacing again and just training up a new customer service person, which covers the majority of the stuff that needs to be done. And so there are bits and bobs that still need to be done, but if we didn't do them, the business wouldn't burn, right? We'd probably go 4 to 6 months before something really drastic happened, which I feel like is a good place to be in. Now, when does this start happening? I think typically if you're below a couple of 100K a year, it's probably that you are having to do everything. Like, your finger is still in every single pie. And that's the way it has to be until revenue is high enough, until systems are clear enough for you to be able to delegate and hand them off. And that's the real difference between a high-paying job and a business, in my opinion, when it officially becomes one. And then the questions that you start asking, the work that you start doing, will drastically change. And the reality of the situation is, and I know I've been on the other side of this, is that if you are finding yourself working all the time doing the stuff in the business, you are doing sales, you're the best salesperson, that was my situation, or you're the best operator, or you're the best fulfillment person. If you're spending your time doing that, it's all well and good that you have a much higher leverage because you're not paying anyone to be doing that time, so you're making extra money on that revenue, essentially. But that is time not being spent actually improving the entity of the business, the thing that would then actually be valuable. Now, it may mean that for a specific place where you are right now, at least this was us a little while ago, that you can't delegate these things, even if you have the skill to do so, because you don't have enough money to be able to do that. There's not enough profit out of the product. And so in that case, you need to price raise, or stay stuck in this high-paid job forever. It's your only option. Or decrease the amount of work required, right? Those are the two levers you can pull. Preferably do both at the same time. And then once you have that, then you can delegate, and you can bring on other people to help you build this, because you're only ever going to get so big alone. And I know my goal is to build something that is a valuable asset in itself. It's a running machine without me having to do anything, which would then be purchasable, or someone would want to purchase it from me, so that I don't have to work again. And I know I will, but the option would be nice and not have the pressure, the financial pressure of performing in that way. All of the money can go straight back in, and then it doesn't matter why, if I have to take anything. So there you go. Those are my thoughts that I'm having today on, is the work you're doing, and it's just a self-check, actually relevant to moving the business in the direction that you want it to go? And hopefully this has given you some indication that either yes, it is, in which case, fantastic, keep doing it. If you are growing, each 6 months, you're doing more and more of the last 6 months, you're heading in the right direction. You could be faster, but who cares? You're growing. You'll get there. But if you're stagnant, if you're not moving, these are the important things, the uncomfortable truths and discussions to have, so that you can then grow later. And hopefully it gets easier. But I believe it sucks all the time. So enjoy the journey as much as you can.